Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you an NFL Week 7 preview between the Washington Redskins and the New York Giants. Now let's look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Redskins.
The Redskins have to make sure this game they keep the Giants in a lot of second and long, third and long situations. So when I look at the linebackers, Perry Riley and London Fletcher, those guys are vital in stopping the run. You want to make the Giants one-dimensional. Do not allow them balance within their offense. And that way guys like Ryan Kerrigan and Rob Jackson can pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. Now on the offensive side of the football, when you look at the Redskins, they do a lot of bootlegs, a lot of naked bootlegs. So let's go inside the lab to see how the Redskins bootleg is set up properly by running the outside zone plays.
One of the staples of the Mike Shanahan offense is the naked bootleg, and the reason why it's so effective is that you have a mobile quarterback that can attack a defense and put them in a very tough situation, especially the backside defensive end. And here's how it's drawn up. Here's what they do throughout the running game. They get the running back going this way. Everyone's blocking down that zone action. Boom. And that's what gets flow going this way. So you run this outside zone a couple of times, the bootleg naturally is going to be wide open. So what happens? This is your boot action. Now you're running everything the same way, blocking down, taking those zone step. This tight end takes that zone step in and delays, and then boom, he shoots out to the flat. So that's your first option. You have the backside receiver coming over on the over route. You have the deep receiver going even on a deeper. This is like a 20-yard route right here, and this is like a 10-yard route just behind linebackers, and this is a 2-yard to 3-yard route just to get the football out of his hands quickly. And you have the clear out right here with the play side receiver just shooting up the alley going downfield. Then you have RG3 running and attacking. That's going to put this backside defensive end at a disadvantage. Either he's going to attack up and this play is going to be open, or he's going to try to shuffle and play both. And now you're giving him the time to throw here, or here. So it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And if the Giants are going to have some success, they're going to have to stop this. But the Redskins run this to perfection, which is why they're one of the dangerous bootleg teams in the National Football League.
Now let's move over to the Giants in this matchup. And the instant matchup you want to focus on is the passing game versus the secondary of the Washington Redskins. I think the Giants have to continue to do what they've been doing all season long, and that's spreading out opposing defenses and taking advantage of the individual matchups. What I look for these guys to do this week is get Martellus Bennett more involved in the offense, because if you can have a tight end to control the middle of the field, it takes that safety off the edges and put him back on the hash, and now you can go down the sideline with your wide receivers. But defensively, it's all about stopping the spread offense and RG3. So let's go inside the lab to see how the Giants defense can set themselves up for success this week versus the Redskins.
The New York Giants have to come in and defend the spread offense this week. And they've gotten a lot of experience over the last couple of years with the Packers, the Patriots, the Saints, and the Panthers this year. So they're prepared for what the Washington Redskins will bring to the table this week in this matchup. You see right here your base force 2-5 set. And the two defensive tackles are actually two gappers. They're going to be responsible for both gaps right here. Depending on what their keys are at pre-snap position, they're responsible for two gaps. You got your ends rushing downhill. The key guy in this factor is the nickel back. Either he can rush or either he can drop to his curl flat, as well as a strong safety curl flat. The Giants have the personnel to go with a 3 safety look, which actually puts them in better position in run situations as opposed to pass, so they can get creative with their personnel. The two inside backers, hook the curl, deep third. And my suggestion, if this guy sees single back, drop back to your curl or flat. If there's another back in the backfield, that should be an automatic go and allow your linebacker to get underneath. You want to put as much pressure on that running game as possible. 2 backs, go, 1 back, drop back in your zone, and play defense.
The type of offense that the Washington Redskins run puts a lot of pressure on your defensive ends, both front side and back side. So those guys have to play with some discipline this week versus the Redskins offense. And I look at the Redskins in this game. When you play the Giants, their offense puts a lot of pressure on your secondary being able to match up. So those guys have to come to play down in, down out versus the Giants passing game. Now let's look at the personnel breakdown in this matchup. You see where there are some holes for the Redskins. That's the offensive line and the secondary. However, when you look at how they dictate a ball game with the running game, that could put some pressure on the Giants' defensive ends. They're going to have to play discipline instead of getting upfield and rushing the quarterback. I like the Giants in this ball game. I think the offensive line of the Giants do a great job of protecting Eli Manning and keeping him clean in the pocket, thus giving him time to find those targets down the field. So I think that right there is the matchup that they will exploit in this ball game. I also think their defense will come away with the stops needed to get the ball back for that explosive offense. I also want to give a huge shout out to Redskins fan forums and Giant fan forums for always showing football game plan support.